Dear Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and lovely children, a warm good evening to all of you. I, TM Sreshta Naya, welcome you all to the combined meeting of Periyar Toastmasters Club and Arabian Toastmasters Club. Before we move forward, I would like to recite the mission of our club. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning environment in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. In Toastmasters program, we do not discuss matters related to sex, religion, and politics. Now, it is my privilege to introduce the presiding officer for today's meeting. He's a tremendous brain, is very enthusiastic about the Periyar Toastmasters Club, a visionary who is also called a walking encyclopedia. Overall, he's a very astounding human being. We are very much fortunate to have this gentle person as our president. Our presiding officer today, DTM Harish Bhagavan. Over to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmasters Sreshta, for that encouraging, tall-tale introduction. Dear all, this is a magnificent joint meeting of two clubs, Periyar Toastmasters and Arabian Toastmasters. And Arabian is the mother club of Periyar. So this meeting has got something special for all of us. So before we begin, as usual, let us introduce our guests. So, dear members of Periyar and Arabian, please introduce the guests who are present today.
Good evening, President DTM Harish and dear Toastmasters friends. Today, my colleague and my friend from Canoes, Mr. Elvin Kim Song from Singapore, he is joining to attend our, to watch our meeting, and he was a former Toastmaster. So let us welcome Mr. Elvin to our podium.
Thank you, Mr. Elvin. Hearty welcome to this joint meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. President and Periyarians, happy advance Saudi National Days to all of you. My son Amal Shivadasan joined from Visakhapatnam.
Hi, welcome Amal. So great to have you with us. Yes. Are there any more guests? Looks like none, so let's start. So dear all, today I'm going to tell you a story that is unknown to the entire world. This is about two stalwart Toastmasters, one from Arabian, one from Periyar. And the twist here is that they themselves don't know this significant story about themselves. So you are the new people in this entire world who are coming to know about it for the very first time now. Arabian Toastmasters has got many stalwarts, but there is only one and only headmaster, that is DTM Thomas. And DTM Thomas actually revived the club. Many people have told that Arabian had a bad patch, and it was at the time DTM Thomas who revived Arabian. And Periyar Toastmasters also has got many tall leaders, but many of them left in 1 year. And after that, Periyar is kept afloat without the need of a revival package because of the commitment and determination of one Toastmaster, that is DTM Nair. And we know DTM Nair recently completed a web series called Commemorare about the departed Indian authors. And the inspiration for DTM Nair to start and complete this series was actually DTM Thomas. The twist here is that DTM Thomas doesn't know it, DTM Nair doesn't know it, but that's a fact. Do you want to know why? How? Thing is, I am so all the time, whenever DTM Thomas speaks, I pay particular attention to it because I know he has done great things for Arabian. So in one meeting, I think way back in 2019, that was pre-pandemic time, it was, I think, in Cook Zone, and DTM Thomas told me, Harish, for a club to be healthy, the quality of the meetings have to be good. So I took it to my heart, and that actually inspired me to start a workshop series on emotional intelligence. And then after somebody asked me, please Harish, get some testimonials from some of the people who have listened to your workshop, I approached my best friend DTM Nair, And DTM Manoj C. Nair wrote in there that the inspiration for him to start this Commemorare series was actually my workshop series on emotional intelligence. And my workshop series on emotional intelligence was inspired by DTM Women Thomas. So it happens, DTM Manoj C. Nair's Commemorare series was inspired by DTM Women Thomas, but DTM Women Thomas doesn't know it. DTM Manoj C. Nair knows it. I am the only person, I am the only conduit who knows it. I happen to be between these two giants. And I have told you the story today for the first time. The entire world, including those two giants, have come to know about it. The thing is that today we are in another joint meeting. Many great minds are coming together now, and more impressive, more magnificent stories are brewing in the background. I am waiting to hear such stories in the near future. So let us have a great joint meeting. Let us have collective learning. With that now, it's now my privilege to introduce a very special young man who in a very short span of time has defined a place for himself in the Jubail Toastmasters community. He is working as a contract specialist in Sadara Petrochemicals. He is a passionate cook. He sings and he enjoys doing stand-up comedy. And his philosophy of life is always to be happy. Dear all, please help me welcome the Vice President Education of Arabian, today's Acting President of Arabian Toastmasters, Toastmaster Ravish Malpani, for the opening address.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harish, for the stunning introduction. I'm very glad for hear that. Yes, as I said, we have been looking for this meeting, a joint meeting, especially with the one of the eminent club, the Periyar Toastmasters. And yes, today we are on the platform. The idea actually can now convert into the reality to see how the great minds are working. And this platform is, yes, to get benefit from each other's, to learn and grow. So, yes, the theme of the meeting saying a home for us, as you mentioned, that ATC was a mother club for the Periyar. So having both together in one platform is really a home for us, as the theme of the meeting has set. So I welcome you all on behalf of ATC to be part of this wonderful meeting. And I'm sure that together we'll definitely learn and achieve more on that. So thank you, and back to you, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Harish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravish, for that positive, inspiring opening. We are all to conduct this magnificent meeting. Today we have a magnificent person who the Jubail Toastmasters community will never forget. Pregnant, experiencing cramps, this person has gone on to the division contest and delivered an outstanding international speech. And thus she became a role model for everyone. A young person, a very young DTM, a mother of two, a passionate teacher, a successful homemaker. It's now my privilege to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, DTM Elna Rajan. Elna, over to you.
Thank you so much for wonderful introduction, dear President DTM Harish Bhargavan. It is my pleasure today to serve you as your Toastmaster of the day, and that too in the special occasion of celebrating Saudi National Day. I chose a home for us as the theme of the day, which is also the theme and slogan for this year's National Day for Saudi Arabia, inspired by traditional Saudi poems and folk songs about home and aspiration, appreciation for the things that make Saudi Arabia feel at home for so many people. I must say that I'm one of the senior most member in Periyar Toastmasters Club who have been in this holy land from past more than 30 years. And my life and experience in Saudi has been amazing. I cannot name any other country where I would have felt this safe. With the size of 2,014,09,690 million square kilometer, Saudi Arabia is roughly about the size of Western Europe. It is the 13th largest country in the world, and it is the largest country in the Middle East. This also makes it the largest country in the world without a river. Immigrants make up to 30% of the Saudi total population, and we are all in this holy land to meet our ends together. And this country have provided us with everything that can make all our dreams come true. I have been privileged to see the transformation this country have gone through. From a country who's known only for their strict rules and regulations and petroleum, is now famous for their liberties towards women and their empowerment. So we all must unite together, as we are also part of the growth of Saudi Arabia, to celebrate the 91st National Day of this country, which has been a home for all of us. Moving on to today's session, I have some amazing assignees who are waiting to read out their roles and responsibilities to us. The general evaluator for today is our dear Toastmaster Abid Khan. Sir, please acknowledge your presence. I shall introduce you later during the evaluation session.
Good evening to all fellow Toastmasters. Today, my role is of channel evaluator, and I'm privileged to get this role. My role is divided into 3 parts. The first part is I will introduce all the evaluators for evaluating the speeches of various speakers. The second is I will also call tag team, timer, accounter, and grammarian for submission of their reports. And third one, and the final one is I will give my overall observations at the end of the session or when called upon to do so, wherein I will cover certain points, certain good points, and also the points which are required to be improved. So thank you very much. And over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abid Khan. To enhance our vocabulary, we have Toastmaster Shibu Savior. He's been working here from past more than 25 years with Kuneni Group as engineering head. Ahlan wa sahlan. Please come together, sir, to introduce the word of the day. Toastmaster Shibu Savior.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, DTMLA. Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, good evening and advanced wishes for our National Day. My role as the word master is to introduce a word as the word of the day and explain the same with proper illustration. My role as grammarian is to listen to all the members and make note of the good and not so good usage of the language. Also note down the use of the word of the day and report the same at the end of the education session. Back to you, Tia Modi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shibu Savior. To keep a track on our R's and M's, we have Toastmaster Ravish Malpani. He's a contract specialist from Sadara who believes to always be happy. Toastmaster Ravish Malpani, please read out your roles and responsibilities.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ray, for the answering introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that will be used as crunch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen to the all overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I'll also listen to the filler sounds, including a, I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as this means, you know. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravish Malpani. Zoom Master and Word Counter is our own VP Education from Periyar Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. Kindly read out your task for the day.
Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, warm good evening to all of you. Today, my role as a Zoom Master is to control the meeting from beginning to end without any obstructions. And as word counter, I will be conducting the virtual poll and will announce the result when asked to do so. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. The Toastmaster who is going to keep a track on the clock, that is our timer for the day, is Toastmaster Siva Sailor. He's working at Sadara, a skilled professional working in the engineering department. Sir, kindly read out your role as timer.
Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. 1 minute. Sorry. Can you hear me? Good evening, Toastmaster.
Yes, sir.
Can you
We
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yes.
I am Toastmaster Sivasalam. Will be taking the role of timer today. I will be recording and reporting the time taken by each speaker and role takers. Normally, for the time taken by icebreaker time slot allotted for the icebreaker speech is 4 to 6 minutes, and time slot allotted for prepared speech is 5 to 7 minutes. A 30-second buffer is allowed on either side in both cases. For the evaluation speeches, 2 to 3 minutes are the time slot allotted, and a buffer of 30 seconds allowed on either side. To signal the speaker on the time elapsed, I use my virtual background colors changes. If my virtual background color changes from blue to green, it indicates that the speaker has qualified that the time allotted for him for the speech, and if it is changes to yellow, he reached the mean time allotted for the speech, and if it is changes to red, it indicates that the speaker has reached the maximum time allotted for the speech, and there will not be any further color change after red. The speaker has to wind up within 30 seconds to avoid disqualification. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, timer. Our Toastmasters meeting is divided into 2 segments, prepared speech session and evaluation session. So let's move on to the speaking session. Are you all ready? If you all are ready and you're ready to welcome our speakers, kindly unmute and say Ahlan wa Sahlan.
Ahlan wa Sahlan.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Thank you so much, everyone. Our first speaker for the evening is somebody who is working as an engineer, a very proud father of 2 talented kids. He'll be delivering his level 1 project 3 visionary communication, Toastmaster Roshan Patrick. His evaluator will be Toastmaster Joe Specattle. Sir, kindly read out the objectives for Toastmaster Roshan's project. Toastmaster Joe Specattle.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Roshan Patrick is attempting his speech number 3 from Pathway Visionary Communication Level 1. Time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this project is for member to learn and review basic research methods and present a well-organized and well-researched speech on any topic. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joe Specattle. Please kindly note the title of the speech, History of D. History of D, Toastmaster Roshan Patrick. Please kindly pin your timer, Toastmaster Roshan Patrick.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Kindly pin your timer.
Yeah, timer, please, you can start the time right now. During the last 1 year, there were a lot number of deaths in India, and especially in Kerala, due to the recent D. Any guesses what the term D is? It is none other than dowry. A young man who demands dowry for his marriage dishonors his education and the country and disrespects womanhood, courtesy to Mahatma Gandhi. Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters, guests, a warm good evening. Now, when we talk about any aspects, it is a good thought to understand how the history was there for that particular aspects. Now when we are talking about dowry, let's see what the historians has to tell us and how the history has recorded it. In Babylonian time, there was a legal book called the Hammurabi's Code. The Hammurabi's Code has documented it very clearly at the time of marriage, what all things shall be done at the time of marriage. A girl's father, when she reaches the time of marriage, takes her to an open place and displays her. Eligible bachelors would come there and select their bride. During this course, the groom used to give gifts and money to the bride's side. This was called bride's wealth. In rare cases, when the bride was not able to get a groom, the girl's father used to offer gifts and cash in order to attract the groom. This was called dowry, but this was very little at that point of time. Now let's come to the Indian history. Foreign travelers has recorded and documented various aspects of how the Indian culture was there for the dowry system. A Greek traveler called Arian, in his book called Invasion of India by Alexander the Great, has recorded saying that there were no evidence to show that there is any economical transaction between a man and a woman during the time of marriage. Also, the Iranian traveler called Al-Burunani, in his book, the Matrimony, states that there is no record to show that there is any economical transaction. However, he has mentioned that at some point of time, the groom used to give some money to the bride. The bride can either accept it or reject it. Now, how this transaction has happened during the course of time? It all happened when the Vedic religion started and the upper class started taking dowry in order to maintain their status. This upper class was rich in agriculture, and in order to get a girl from the same status, they demanded dowry. But the lower class was barred for taking dowry. Now, secondly, with the advancement of technology, a male-dominated society was erupted, where woman was not given any rights, and her status was much lower than the men. In this scenario also, the dowry system prevailed much more. After the invasion of Britain to India, this dowry system advanced furthermore. Now, if you see the present scenario, the research has been conducted on how the tribal takes dowry. The tribal called the Fel community in Rajasthan and Irula community in Kerala, they still practice the bride's wealth. After independence, in order to prohibit the dowry, Indian government has enacted the dowry prohibition, where giving and taking dowry in any form was prohibited. But there were loopholes in this one. People used to give gifts which was excluded from the dowry. So in 1985, this act was amended with two additional bills called 304B, dowry death, and 498, cruelty by husbands or relatives. 40 to 50% of the deaths was caused by dowry deaths, and this was surveyed between 1999 to 2018. In 2019 itself, 7,115 cases were registered against dowry. Dear Toastmasters, now whatever the government does, whatever bill or whatever act it brings in, unless you, me, and the society decides, this dowry system cannot be stopped. Men and women are equal in the society. Women has equal rights as men do. Dowry system should be completely abolished to have a good society in the future. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Roshan Patrick. Our word master did not share the word of the day, so I would like to request him to come again and share the word of the day. Toastmaster Shibu Savior. Dear Toastmasters, kindly help me welcome Toastmaster Shibu Savior.
Thank you, DTM Ella. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, once again, good evening. I have dual role to play this evening, the word master and grammarian. As we are celebrating Saudi National Day, let us see one word. I would say it's a focus, it is a famous Arabic greeting, Ahlan wa sahlan. I'm sure most of us are familiar and knows about Ahlan wa sahlan. In Arabic, there are a lot of ways to say welcome. However, one of the most commonly used and perhaps warmest greeting is Ahlan wa sahlan. Actually, it is not just welcome, but a big welcome from the heart. Let us know more about this sweet greeting. When someone greet you, Ahlan wa sahlan means they welcome as on their family, they welcome you as their own family member, and they wish you the things to be sahal, easy upon you. Means ahal means family and sahal means easy. You might have noticed in Arabic culture, one of the highest forms of welcoming a guest is telling them they are not going to be treated as an outsider. When you greet someone with Ahlan wa sahlan, it means that your visit is light and your person is not a burden at all. Means you are wholeheartedly welcome. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, now I'm going to greet you. Please unmute and greet me back. Ahlan wa sahlan.
Ahlan bik.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Thank you. Friends, the reply to Ahlan wa sahlan is usually Ahlan bik. You don't need to reply again Ahlan wa sahlan. Should be
Ahlan
bik. But remember, if you are addressing a male. But if you are addressing a female, it's Ahlan biki. Ahlan biki. When you are addressing a female. When you are speaking or when you meet with a group of people and you would use Ahlan bikum. So Ahlan bik, when you address a male, Ahlan bik, to female, Ahlan biki, and a group of people, mixed people, Ahlan bikum. Both of these reply means I'm glad to be here, I'm glad to see you, and you are welcome. And friends, you know the informal version of Ahlan wa sahlan? Nothing, very simple. Ahlan. You might have noticed maybe some of your friends greeting you. Ahlan, Ahlan means it's something, you know, they are very close to you. It's a warm welcome. So you would use with your friends Ahlan. That even casual acquaintances, it is just like saying hi instead of hello. For Toastmasters, as grammarian, I will be carefully listening all the speeches and note down the good usages, colorful phrases, and of course, the not so good usages. I shall present my report at the end of the evaluation session when called upon to do so. Over to you, Toastmaster of today.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shibu Savior. Moving on to our next speaker. She is a mother of 5-month-old baby, teacher by profession, and she's going to break the ice today. Toastmaster Anjali will be delivering her Level 1 Project 1 icebreaker from Persuasive Influence. Her evaluator is distinguished Toastmaster Murli Krishnan. DTM Murli Krishnan, kindly read out the objectives for Toastmaster Anjali.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters from Periyar and Arabian Toastmasters Club and distinguished guests, Ahlan wa Sahlan. Toastmaster Anjali is delivering her icebreaker project, and the purpose of this project is for her to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speaking. The time allotted is 4 to 6 minutes, and I wish all the very best to her first milestone speech, Toastmaster Anjali. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, DTM Murli Krishnan. Toastmaster Anjali, title of her speech, A Bit About Myself. Toastmaster Anjali, a bit about myself. Kindly please pin your timer.
Okay. I'm starting my speech. So, I have always believed that more than the destination, it is the company of fellow travelers who make the journey blissful. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, a warm good evening to all. History was in making. Well, this is happening in a small village in Kerala, in Ernakulam district. It was on 1994, Jayashree and Sri Kumar met for the first time. They promised to be together forever and they started their journey. It was a joint family with father, mother, grandparents, grandchildren. And on the journey, soon a good news came. They came to know that they're going to become parents. And a little girl came into their life. After a long wait on August 7, 1995, they named her Anjali. Her birth blessed their life and they started living for the new soul of their life. I was a single child for them, but never felt alone because our relatives, friends, cousins, we all were nearby and it was full of fun memories with lot of games and funs. Both my parents were working. My father is working abroad and my mother is a homeo doctor. Apart from the kids which have a virtual world today in the social media and computer games, we had a great enjoyment during our time that cannot be explained just in words. That is, we have been used to playing cricket, climbing trees, and eating mangoes, small fights, and so and so. Most of my vacation, me and my mother used to visit my father's working place on Saudi. And there also we have got good family friend circle and the usual gatherings on Fridays and Thursdays. That is still in memories. As we grew up older, life changed. It became an era with numerous facilities for communication. And we all had to split for higher studies to different places. And after completing my schooling, I completed my schooling from the village on 2012. And soon I was shifted for my higher studies to Amrita Coimbatore for another 5 years. That was hard enough to adjust the hostel life. That is from a replantation from my home to a hostel life. It was too tough. And from there, I was mastered in chemistry. And during the final year, we had to publish a project work, and that was the most hectic time. So because it was full of lab work, project reviews, and it was totally tight schedule. Somehow I managed to complete my project work. Then I have, after completing my mastering, I have joined for B.Ed in my hometown. That is again back to my sweet home. I came back, and that is the most lovely place which I love to relay every time. And during my B.Ed course, I got a good news that my project work, that is which I have done on my mastering, has got published in a journal. I never thought it would, but my hard work and everything come into that. I was very much happy, and I was that was the most happiest time in my life. Then during my B.Ed life, a lot of changes has happened in my life. A fear-free environment. I still remember my first demo was a total loss, and my teachers, colleagues helped me a lot to gain confidence in front of the group. And this fear went off when I started my internship in school for 4 months. That was in a school, government school, and I was teaching into 8th and 7th. And always my father helped me with what he can, and he always will order and just force me to do something. But then I will find some difficulty when he will tell and like just ordering. But he always tell that you are lazy enough, so I'm doing like this. Then during my B.Ed course, my marriage was fixed, and that too happened in between. And that was a well-spent day with family and friends, and the most hard part of anyone's life. And I was married to Arun. That is the most hardest part, was that shifting from on home to husband's home. And that was a totally different world with a lot of new things and messed up life. After my B.Ed course, I have been worked as a trainee for a CBSE school, again a mobile world of class. This was another change from our kind of studies being virtual. Before our second anniversary, we got a gift from our God, our son. We named him Sai Rishan, and he's just 5 months now. Seeing him growing day by day and looking him made me understand how our parents has taken care of us. My mother always there been staying beside me with full support and knowingly or unknowingly teaching me to become a good mother. Now, I'm very much curious about what is going to happen next in my life. Like someone says, future is unpredictable. And like everyone, we are also looking forward on how to settle down our life. I have a few dreams I'm determined to achieve at any cost, to become a good teacher and to become a good speaker and to do some good humanitarian works. I'm fond of traveling, and I love listening to music, as well as I love dancing. I have been doing this during I have studied both, but I cannot continue it properly. Then my role model is my parents. I always ask them advice, and they always choose the best for me. And they have all done, and with the full efforts, they have done many things for making our family the best. Like every new day teaches us a new lesson. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anjali. Moving on to our third speaker, Toastmaster Mohammed Ashik. He'll be delivering Level 4 Speech 1, Elective Project Managing Change. He's a marketing professional working for training and consultancy from Dammam. His evaluator is DTM Seju Davis. Distinguished Toastmaster Seju Davis, kindly read out objectives for Toastmaster Mohammed Ashik's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster Mohammed Ashik is going to deliver a speech about change management. The purpose of the speech is to develop a change management plan and share some details of it so that the audience can learn about it. And wish him all the best. Thank you. Over to you, DTM.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DTM Seju Davis. Toastmaster Mohammed Ashik, title of his speech is We Come to You. Toastmaster Mohammed Ashik. Title, We Come to You. Kindly pin your timer.
Dear Toastmaster of the day and the timer, just give me a 1 minute because I have to give a small introduction because the audience has to act in a certain way. So I would say this is a project where the CEO addressing the for the 300 employees on the 1st of March 2020. Because this organization is a part of what we call as 150 express outlets selling food and grocery throughout the country via online platform. I'll be addressing with the audience. The audience is basically, this is during the first wave of Corona, COVID-19, and the whole country is in lockdown, and this particular address is to the employees actually. And the audience has to be assume themselves as an employees of these 150 express outlets. That's introduction. Let's thank you so much. Let's now the timer can go ahead with the time. Good evening to all of you all. We are so shocked at the sudden and a wide spread of the pandemic throughout the country with a blink of an eye. Some of our employees are affected with virus, and we pray for their speedy recovery. Further, we hope all well and safe in your home with your family. We doing all the best to make sure our employees and our work environment are safe. We have made arrangements to sanitize the outlets and the warehouse to take safety measures as immediate action. Further, we have set up a medical support hotlines to help employees to seek medical advice. Further, we have covered under medical insurance to seek medical assistance if they are not well for the benefit of the employees. Today, we have been challenged by this unknown pandemic which have threatened our lives and the way we do business. We are forced to shut our outlets enforced by the government emergency rule to curtail the spread of deadly virus. Our main revenue achievement during the month is doubtful, but our commitment to pay the salaries and other dues for employees have to be met without default. In order to sustain ourselves in these uncertain times, we have to change. We have to change ourselves to serve our customers who are our backbone to bring revenue. In order to do that, we have to reinvent our business model to suit the current situation. We adopt to change swiftly. We have to move ourselves from selling in a physical location to deliver to a customer at their doorstep. It's not only an opportunity to sustain our business, and it's a social responsibility that our customers has to be provided with essentials for their existence. We are a young company with 1 million daily sales and well-trained dedicated staff. It could not be possible to grow to this extent in a short span of time without your commitment and support. Now the time has come to be united and face this challenge collectively. The main aim of our change process are to make sure that deliver the goods to their customers' doorstep, facilitate phone selling in an immediate sense through a customer care, and turn the 150 outlets into a mini warehouse to deliver the goods, and reorganized our 300 staffs with outlets to this operation. The challenge we face is the shortage of mini vehicle to deliver the goods to the customer, effective customer service department to facilitate orders and delivery is lacking here in our company. The shortage of staff to pack the goods for the customers' mini orders, And we don't have an online platform and apps and e-commerce to facilitate the online sales. Therefore, we have decided with your support to strategize to counter these challenges to immediately set up the customer service using the outlet staff with their mobiles and work from home concept. Deliver using staff personal vehicle with allowance given to them for their usage to deliver the goods to their customer, and building the e-commerce and app portals in etc. in a medium term, and investment in light vehicle in a medium and long term. We need your support and cooperation in this regard to regroup you into 3 groups for the effective performance. The customer service who are going to work from home, the delivery staff initially operating from the outlet, which will be converted to mini warehouse. Some staffs will be transferred to warehouse to coordinate and help in the operation. The detailed plans will be revealed in 2 days' time with assigned responsibility. Currently, we don't want to leave you or reduce the fixed income of you at this difficult time. We need your contribution and support so that we can pass these hard times smoothly. Sometimes you may have to sacrifice the overtime and the work extra hours, as we have to invest heavily for this transformation from our savings to sustain our survival. We believe there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Once we move forward, we will cherish together. Let us join together to serve our customer. We come to you. Over to you, Toastmaster Periyar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammed Ashik. Moving on to the last speaker of tonight is Toastmaster Manoj Kumar, who will be delivering his last speech from Pathway Dynamic Leadership. The evaluator is DTM Ajit Kumar. DTM Ajit Kumar, can you please read out the objectives for Toastmaster Manoj Kumar's final project?
Alan Vasalan, Periyar Toastmasters Club, my fellow Toastmasters of Arabian Toastmasters. Good evening to all of you. Well, here the speaker is attempting the last project from his path called Dynamic Leadership. And the title of that particular project is called Reflect on Your Path. The purpose is the speaker should present what he has learned from this project in his journey of this project. Reflect on his own growth during the completion of the project and to share some aspects regarding that growth. So time is 10 to 12 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Ajit Kumar. Toastmaster Manoj Kumar, title of his speech, My Journey. Title of his speech, My Journey, Toastmaster Manoj Kumar. Kindly pin your timer.
Sure. Well, I'm not able to pin the timer.
Timer, can you please indicate him?
Yeah.
No problem. I have added him in the spotlight so you can see him.
Can you see the screen?
Sure. Yeah. Yes, I can. Thank you.
Toastmaster Manoj Kumar, My Journey.
The only time you should look back is to see how far you have come. Today, as I complete my path and look back, let me share with you what I see. You can't fix something until it's broken, right? So when I began my Toastmasters journey, I had a feeling that I was someone. Toastmasters literally shattered that image of mine. And I am happy it did. Over the past 3.5 years, I have learned a lesson. I am someone, but I have a long way to go to be the one that I aspire to be. Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, Alan Vasa. Dynamic leadership, that's the path I chose. Typically, for any path, you have to put the path in your context, your life, your profession. That is where exactly any path would make sense. So, with that, let me share with you my learnings and experiences that I've had in this path over a period of 3.5 years. Like all, I too started my journey with the icebreaker, which helps us to understand how to present ourselves to the world. I completed my level 1 with the project research and presentation, which basically helps us to organize our thoughts. As a professional, it's important that we organize our thoughts, make it precise, and present the content. I remember during my initial days of the professional career, I used to send emails to my customers, but the information used to be pretty scattered. Today, when I look back, I truly believe that those could have been made more precise so that the required information had been more clear. See, although I have improved myself in that aspect, I'm sure after having completed this level, things are more in place. And this exactly was my learning from level 1, that is, organizing the thoughts. Gradually, after every speech, I started focusing more on the recommendations I received than the positive feedbacks, which started my journey focusing on evolving as a speaker. I completed my level 1 in a span of 9 to 10 months, while my level 2 was completed in a span of 3 to 4 months, which involved understanding my leadership style, my communication style, and most importantly, introducing to the world of mentoring Toastmasters. And the learning I got in level 2 was time management. What was earlier done in a span of 9 to 10 months, if that could be done within 3 months with learning in place, we will realize that if there is a deadline and if we commit ourselves to a date, there is very likelihood that we achieve what we want. A testimony, if I may quote here, is I started using this approach outside Toastmasters in my professional career, and the results could be seen. I started achieving my targets well before the deadlines. So that's what happens when you commit yourself to a date and deliver. Moving ahead, I am a sales person by profession. So being a sales person, one of the most significant aspects is to build the network, inspire people, and after that, negotiate to get the results on your paper. The level 3 projects typically help me shape up as a better salesperson by putting these skills in place. Let me share with you a small personal example. During those initial days when I started off my professional career, I used to find it difficult to get on to the right person and understand the issues. And even if I used to get on to the right person, many a times I have lost on opportunity just because of not having negotiated in the right manner. Although I came out of this with experience, I learned that there could be different ways of negotiating effectively. And this project in level 3 made me realize the effectiveness of each type of negotiation, which I started applying in my daily communications and interactions with my customers. And the results were there. I could effortlessly negotiate and close the deals. So that's where we say Toastmasters or the Pathways programs, it is not just about giving speeches, but implementing them in our daily lives. As I moved ahead, this was the time when the uh, pandemic started, the lockdown came into effect, and all the physical meetings that were being conducted came within this small screen that you are seeing right now. I was taken aback and said, this is not going to work out for me. Now, the more I said, the more time passed. I could sense the world is moving ahead. My daughter, who was 6 years old then, started using this space for all her school activities. And that's when I realized it's time to change. Coincidentally, this is the time I got an opportunity to be the Vice President Education of Periyar Toastmasters Club. There was no alternate but to get things going within this small space. I used to be pretty confident about my body language when the physical meetings were going on. However, the challenge in front of me was to learn how I could use my body language in this given space. So, apart from the regular club meetings, I also took up assignments to be the quiz master in one of the Toastmaster events and some assignments outside the Toastmasters fraternity. And yes, the change was there. So that is where, if you are able to embrace yourself, embrace the change that is coming in, the challenge which is there, the answer to that challenge is to embrace the change. And this is exactly what the level 4 gives the learning. Moving to the final path, I was more or less sure that I would probably be the first person to complete Path 1 from Periyar Toastmasters Club. However, more than completing the path, it is important that we understand and conceive the learnings that we have had from our earlier paths. That is exactly what I did. I personally took up all that I learned, all the recommendations I received till my level 4 speeches, accumulated them and put it in my level 5 speeches, which portrayed the significance of leading a team in a situation and to be and speak in a professional manner. In my last speech, I had shared how effectively I was able to lead my team in a situation wherein there was a crisis regarding a supply chain, and how effectively we could come into a solution then. So that's what the effectiveness of Toastmasters is. To summarize the learnings from these paths, what we realize is the power of evolving during a program, the power to commit to a date and deliver, and to embrace the change in managing a program. But most importantly, what matters is the mark it leaves on the receiver and what they go back with. Coming to the people who led me to these learnings, the evaluators of my speeches and my mentors, DTM Oman sir and DTM Harish Bhagavan, who have continuously supported me with their constructive feedback. However, the person who makes it all happen, it's you, the members of the club. Every time you have been there to encourage me and support me with continuous feedbacks. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a lighthouse and setting up a very high standard for what a Toastmaster meeting can be and should be, and always delivered it to be. Thank you once again, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manoj. Dear fellow Toastmasters, that was our last speaker. Can we get the timer's report, please? Timer. Let's give a big round of applause to all the speakers who did an amazing job today.
Modi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you need a timer report of the speakers now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Speaker name, Toastmaster Roshan Patrick, is taken 6 minutes 43 seconds. And Toastmaster Anjali, taken 6 minutes 36 seconds. Toastmaster Muhammad Ashik, taken 5 minutes 57 seconds. Toastmaster Manoj Kumar has taken 11 minutes 25 seconds. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
What are we doing? Dear fellow Toastmasters, it is time for you all to cast your vote. Vote counter, please launch the vote poll.
Toastmaster Elna, you can carry on. I will launch the poll in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Dear fellow Toastmasters, we have a short break now for 10 minutes.
Modi, can you
Just,
hear? Yeah,
just to
Modi, can you
confirm,
hear me?
all are qualified. I think
Yes,
Toastmaster
Anjali. Yeah, Anjali has taken 6 seconds more than the allotted time. Actually, she has taken 6 minutes 36 seconds.
So disqualified, right?
Yes,
We have one disqualification and we have 3 speakers who are qualified.
Okay.
Do we need to really take the break or can we continue?
Let's continue.
I think, Elna, can we continue or do you
Yes,
want
sure.
a break?
No, I'm fine.
Right.
Dear fellow Toastmasters, like how our president said, we will continue now. Next session is the evaluation session. Our general evaluator today is a manager for fire and safety from KSA Bahrain Kuwait, VFS Global since January 2020. He is Toastmaster Abid Khan. Toastmaster Abid Khan, virtual floor is yours, sir. Please kindly help me welcome Toastmaster Abid Khan.
Excuse me, DTM Elna, and do we have to complete the voting process before we go to the next one, or we will do it in the end? I mean, do we have a suggestion? Do you what do you propose?
Our vote counter will be launching the poll soon, sir.
Okay, in between.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, in between. You can carry on. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for this wonderful introduction of myself. I welcome you all again to this joint meeting of Arabian Toastmaster Club and Periyar Toastmaster Club. And really, it's a glad moment for all of us to celebrate the National Day, Saudi National Day. So today my role is of general evaluator. you know, there is evaluation of anything is having many benefits. Like in schools, we are at the end of the session, our teacher is evaluating us, and in companies, our bosses are evaluating us, our performance. So in the same manner, 4 evaluators today instead of 5. Earlier 5 were there, but due to one speech was not presented by Mr. Verumogan. So we are having 4 evaluators today, and I'm going to invite them one by one. But before that, I would like to suggest, or I would like to tell you some of the benefits of evaluation. Evaluation is done in Toastmasters is having certain benefits. The first benefit is that whether our speech objectives are met or not. So we are ensuring that the speech Toastmasters who have already given their speech, their objective are met or not. The second benefit of this exercise is, you know, myself and other evaluators will also improve their certain skills, the skills of critical thinking, critical analysis, active listening, which is very important. And the third, but not the last, is giving positive feedback to all the delivered personnel. Now, here at this platform, we encourage each other, and the purpose of giving evaluation or giving feedback to any Toastmaster is not to find the faults in that Toastmaster, but to motivate him and to tell him that his speech is really appreciable and he can improve that speech in coming future sessions. So to help me to conduct this session, I have a team of 4 evaluators today who are known to be pillars of both the Toastmaster clubs, and they are having immense experience in delivering or doing this activity in the previous sessions. So I would like to start with the first evaluator who will evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Roshan Patrick, who has given the speech on his level 1 pathway 3 visionary communication. To evaluate his speech, the Toastmaster is Mr. Jose Pacatil. Toastmaster Jose Pacatil was the founder president of Arabian. He was also founder member of JTC and sponsor of Allied Toastmaster Club. He worked in the company of AYTB for more than 25 years. Now he is living a life of a retired personnel and enjoying his life with his 3 grown-up children. So please welcome Toastmaster Jose Pacatil to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Roshan Patrick. Over to you, Toastmaster Jose Pacatil.
Sir, you are muted.
Just mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Abid Khan. Ahlan wa sahlan to Arabian and Periyar Toastmasters. First of all, I want to congratulate Toastmaster Roshan Patrick for completing your speech 3, learning and reviewing the basic research methods, and present a well-researched and well-organized speech on a topic. Congratulations to you. Toastmaster Roshan, first of all, when I heard the title of your speech, History of D, I was wondering, and I am sure many of you must be wondering, is he going to teach us ABCD or what? But what a wonderful speech it was. according to your speech criteria, you are supposed to learn about a new subject or a subject which is known to you, but you want to learn more about it. And what other subject could be more interesting than history of D? The most, probably the oldest subject that we all talk about, but nobody wants to talk about it, the dowry system. And he has done an excellent research on that, which is evident from his specific step-by-step evolution, description of the evolution of the dowry system by his quotations by several travelers, historians, as to how the dowry system originated. As he demonstrated that initially there was no dowry, some groups started, and all that details he has presented in a very well organized manner. So it is evident from his speech that he has done an excellent research on this subject. And I want to congratulate you on this excellent history, step-by-step evolution, and at the end he advocated abolition of the system in today's life, which bothers many of us, which is, in my opinion, a well-researched and well-conducted speech. You excelled, you mastered the fundamentals of the dowry system, how it started. So it was like a gift in some places it was expected, and all those details. And I am sure all of us Toastmasters today is better understood now what the dowry system is. Again, I would like to say that, like any other speech, I would like to suggest a couple of minor issues that has nothing to do with your project, but it would, in future projects, will help you. That is, even though it is not a physical meeting, it's a virtual meeting. In a virtual meeting, it is difficult to understand and observe your facial expressions and things like that. A closer video would have helped to understand for the audience to understand your facial expressions, how the audience are taking your speech, etc. Secondly, I would also suggest, in order for the audience to understand your eye contact, your facial expression, it is necessary to provide a very close picture or video of your speech. And I don't know, like many others, I heard whether you said the word history, you pronounced it history. It would be nice if you pronounce it properly, history. Other than that, I did not find any other mistakes or any issues with your speech. Congratulations. I like to hear more speeches from you in the future. Back to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmasters Jos Patakel. Now, the next speech was given by Toastmaster Anjali. A wonderful speech she has given. And her evolution will be done by DTM Murali Krishnan. Murali Krishnan was the former president of Periyar Toastmaster Group and immediate past PQD of Division D, founder director of Mind Academy, a very experienced personnel. So I would like to welcome DTM Murali Krishnan to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Anjali. Over to you, DTM Murali Krishnan.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, for those inspiring words. Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening, and Toastmaster Anjali in particular, good evening. Congratulations, Toastmaster Anjali, on your brand new journey that you have started today. And I'm sure that this journey is indeed going to give a new soul to your life. Congratulations on a grand start. Now let me go to your speech, analyze your speech. Your title, even though it was a bit about myself, I thought that you managed exceedingly well to talk more about you in this with limited 4 to 6 minutes of time. And as an icebreaker, normally what we see is, people tend to finish it within 4 or 5 minutes, but you overshooted the time, but you managed to, excellently tell or introduce who you are to all of us from Periyar Toastmasters Club, as well as Arabian Toastmasters Club. And the way you scripted your speech, the chronology that you maintained, right from your parents' marriage to your birth, then moving on to your, the way you had a very playful life, eating those mangoes, playing cricket and all those kind of things, moving on to your school education, that was in a very chronological order till you got your gift recently. And then you also took us to your future dreams, a very well scripted speech, I would say, in a very chronological way. And that was indeed one of your key strengths that I would say in your speech, the way you scripted it, and in a very simple language, you were able to take us all through your life within this very limited span of 4 to 6 minutes. Indeed, a great challenge. And I would say that you did it with great ease and poise. And the very simple way you explained, that added more charm to the whole way you introduce yourself to all of us. And one thing which I liked very much in your speech is some of very nice, colorful phrases that you had. If I may quote you, a new soul of life. Even I used your own phrase in my initial address. Fear-free environment. Future is unpredictable. Every new day gives us a new lesson. And I'm sure that today, this moment also would have given you more number of new lessons to make sure that you have a wonderful journey in this platform called Toastmasters. Now it's all about learning new things. Of course, learning never ends. And in this platform, for your speech, I have a couple of humble recommendations for you. One is, of course, not for your icebreaker speech, because icebreaker speech is all about introducing yourself, and you have done it exceedingly well. And it's all about understanding the structure and understanding the structure of a speech. I'm sure that you understood it with the way which you scripted it. But of course, those recommendations are not for your icebreaker speech. But moving forward, what I would suggest is one is like the way you stood there, clasping your hands. That is not bringing out that energy. So if you can use your hands freely, whenever it's called body gestures. Your body speaks whenever you use your hand gestures, because we have this limitation since we are in the online mode, but still you can utilize it to your fullest effort. That's point number one. Point number two is to have a bit of voice modulation so that it doesn't looks monotonous. It brings more energy. It brings we will get to know your feelings when you are happy, when you are in a very playing mode and all. Those kind of things will come out naturally. And one more thing, if I may add, is in the start, when TMOD introduced you, all of a sudden you started. So instead of that, if you, after TMOD introducing you, if you would have taken a small pause, then we would also be able to catch you up when you started. So whenever TMOD introduce or anybody just give a small pause in the beginning, which will help all the other members also to come with you. So those are my 3 humble suggestions. And if I may add one more, a smile always enhances the speech. So that can take it to a different level. But all said and done, you exceedingly, in a very exceedingly likable way, you introduced yourself. Now we know you better. Wish you all the very best in your way forward. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Murali Krishnan. Now the third speech, which was given by Toastmaster Muhammad Ashik, who has attempted his project on dynamic leadership level 4. To evaluate his speech, we have DTM Seju Davis. Seju Davis is the second president of Periyar Toastmaster Club, champion speaker and evaluator, recognized expert in the field of industrial safety. So please welcome DTM Seju Davis to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Muhammad Ashik. Over to you, DTM Seju Davis.
The only constant in life is change, said Heraclitus, the great Greek philosopher. So it's very important for all of us to understand change management. Toastmaster of the day, general evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and speaker Muhammad Ashik in particular. Good evening. Today, Toastmaster Muhammad Ashik stands before us like a charismatic leader, proposes changing the way we do business, which is the need of the hour, for a great transformational change to his company, having a big 300 employees and 150 outlets doing the food business. And due to the COVID-19 first wave, and he expressed the various facets of change management plan. Now, first thing, he set the context of the organization. That's a good thing to elevate the speaker, elevate all the members of the club, all the speakers, all the people who are present in the auditorium, or virtually to take to the place where he wants to set the speech. Well done from that part. And the title from itself, We Come to You, is really inspiring. Then he moved on to give us the scope of the change management plan, where we want to move from selling physically to delivering at the doorstep due to the COVID. And he put the reasons for that change. And then he outlined the scope, and he gave us the change management plan, and then the benefits to the employees, and so on. And he did well, exceedingly well, the communication of the change management plan. What I like most about you, your stance and the way you are making it more official, and you are talking about the soothing, caring, and the precautions for the employees to buy in, to sell to the employees the change management plan. And you are really telling the facts on the face, like overtime, extra time, and let's join together to move forward. So great way of presenting over the change management plan as we have seen in the corporate environment. So all the aspects are being covered for the change management plan. But in order to improve furthermore, I see one important thing we can add, which is basically whom to contact in this change management plan, because of course, for any change, there is always resistance to change. And so how the stakeholders are going to do with the changes or any explanations they require, they have to go to the correct change management team. So possibly, I think that was one area missing in the resistance to change part of the change management plan. From the speech point of view, you are an excellent speaker. You have, if you look at the speech objectives, very well done for the clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, the audience engagement, giving this, and the comfort level. All of them you have done exceedingly well. Only point I will say from the speech aspect is, as earlier evaluator has said, the hand gestures and eye contact. This is a challenge when we do virtually. Overall, a great presentation. By the title, We Come to You, and I'm sure the change management plan which you are presenting is going to help us to make our own change management plans. And we are wishing you all the best and like to see more speeches from you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, DTM Seju Davis, for the wonderful evaluation session. Now the fourth and the last speech, prepared speech, was delivered by Toastmaster Manoj Kumar. who had adapted his project on dynamic leadership. Final project, reflect your path. To evaluate his speech, we are having the experienced Toastmaster of Arabian Toastmaster Club, DTM Ajit Kumar. DTM Ajit Kumar retired from Saudi Arabia and now he is enjoying his retirement life in India with tranquility of nothing less. So I would like to invite DTM Ajit Kumar for giving the evaluation of Toastmaster Manoj Kumar. Over to DTM Ajit Kumar.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for that nice introduction. Alan Barsal and the fellow Toastmasters and Toastmaster Manoj Kumar in particular. Good evening to all of you. Well, I must say that you have presented a very comprehensive account of what you've learned in this dynamic leadership project. And my appreciation for bringing out these aspects. And I've not seen that somebody is coming out with so many learnings of Toastmaster journey, a Toastmaster project, being applied into one's professional life and experiencing that kind of a transformation, leaving an indelible mark in your professional personality. You have really convinced us in today's presentation of that reflection. Well, Toastmaster Manoj, I really like the way you structured your speech in a stage-by-stage development from level 1 to level 5, and touching upon the important aspects of that leadership which you learned in each levels. Let me just list out some of the things which you said here. That you started off saying about the organizational aspect of level 1, the time management aspect of level 2, and how you became a better salesperson, influencing your customer and closing the deal in level 3. And level 4, how you could embrace the change and drive yourself ahead of the curve in real life. And finally, in level 5, a very important aspect of dynamic leadership, which you highlighted, is that one has to reflect upon what he learned and reapply for improvement. And you reapplied it on your improvement in your professional life to be a conflict resolution, to bring about conflict resolution at your workplace. Well done, Manoj Kumar. You met all the points of your project, and above all, not only the structure, the way you deliver, the confidence, the fluency, the little bit of gestures you have applied, everything shows that you have transformed as a personality in public speaking arena as well. So congratulations to you for having come out in such a wonderful manner by presenting this project. But nevertheless, it's an opportunity for everybody to learn and improve. And so is also this project has got a little bit of improvement aspect I could touch upon. Well, having said all that you have achieved, all that great thing you have presented, I must say that you are particularly focusing all those aspects of professional life in your examples, primarily on professional life. But being a better leader in life doesn't mean that you make all the applications in your professional life, but also in your personal life. How going through this project of the dynamic leadership has made you a better person in life, such as a better father, better husband, a better friend in your community, influencing them to do something. These aspects, if you know, it's not very easy, but if you could just add about, it'll be like, it will be an icing on cake. Think about that, and I'm sure you will be a great speaker, a great leader in your professional life as well as in Toastmasters life. Over to you.
Thank you very much, DTM Ajit Kumar, for giving this wonderful evaluation session. Now I would request the timer to give the timer report, please.
Good evening, Toastmaster Abid. The evaluator, Toastmaster Jose Patakil has taken 5 minutes 11 seconds. Toastmaster DTM Murali Krishnan, evaluator DTM Murali Krishnan has taken 4 minutes 25 seconds. Evaluator DTM Seju Davis has taken 4 minutes 4 seconds. Evaluator DTM Ajit Kumar has taken 3 minutes 36 seconds. And actually nobody is qualified.
Thank you, Toastmaster. It's very unfortunate, but we have enjoyed the session, and I'm sure that everybody has learned something from these evaluation sessions. So, fellow Toastmaster, may I request you all to please cast your ballots for the best evaluator?
I understand that nobody is eligible to be a best evaluator here because everyone has exceeded time.
Okay, so we have to skip this session. Sure. Now I would like to call upon grammarian and word master to furnish his report. DTM Shivu Xavier, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Abid Khan. Ahlan wa sahlan, dear fellow Toastmasters. Our word of the day was used by our TMOD, DTM Ella Rajan, DTM Murali Krishnan, DTM Ajit Kumar, Toastmaster Manoj Kumar, Jose Pekatel sir. I don't know some more because I had some issues in my audio system. Anyway, thank you so much. And some of the fantastic usages are regroup you into 3 groups by Toastmaster Ashik. Of course, it is a rhyming word. Light at the end of the tunnel by Toastmaster Ashik. One time you should look back to see how far you have come. Toastmaster Manoj Kumar. Charismatic leader. Facets by DTM Seju Davis. And thank you DTM Murali Krishnan for sharing the so good phrases by Madam Toastmaster and Chili Sri Kumar. Number of good usages. And thanks to Jose Pekatel sir for helping me to share the pronunciation, improve the way of how to improve the pronunciation. And one thing I just want to share that please avoid to use overshooted, which is not correct. The correct usage is overshoot. I hope you all enjoyed this session and hopefully this ahlan wa sahlan. Everyone, I don't think that you'll forget this word anymore. So thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, DTM Shivu Xavier. Now I would request a counter report, please, from Toastmaster Ravish Malpani. Over to you, Ravish.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Once again, ahlan wa sahlan to all the fellow Toastmasters. Well, I was looking for that my sheet will be filled, but I was so surprised that it's still blank. This means a good job done by all the fellow Toastmasters. So I could find very minimum of the ahas and crunches and the fillers. Yeah. So let me just point out that Toastmaster Roshan Patrick, the one crutches and one filler only. Distinguished Toastmaster Shivu Xavier, 2 ahas and 2 fillers and 1 repeat. DTM Murali Krishnan, 1 crunches and 2 fillers as a repeat. Toastmaster Muhammad Ashik, only 1 crunches. Toastmaster Manoj Kumar, 1 crunch only. Toastmaster Abid Khan, 3 crunches and 3 fillers. Rest all perfect. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravish Malpani, for giving this wonderful feedback about the R's. Now my turn is to give the general evaluations feedback to all the fellow Toastmasters. I will give my feedback in two parts. One is general and the other one is specific. After that, I will also suggest some of the area of the improvement for the future sessions. So in general, I'll cover the points like that agenda was well circulated on WhatsApp group to both the Toastmasters Club. Theme of the day and word of the day was very aptly explained and used by almost all the Toastmasters. Meeting was started exact on time at 7 p.m. KSA time. Guest was all the fellow Toastmasters who have participated in this meeting were well introduced and welcomed. I have observed no cross-talking except one disturbance during the word master explanation, but it was minute. Some of the areas of improvement are like we have observed that one of our Toastmaster unable to join this session for delivering his speech. Unfortunately, Toastmaster Anjali has spoke well, but she did not qualify. Our 4 Toastmaster evaluators who have given a very wonderful feedback about the speakers, unfortunately did not qualify. But we hope so that we will definitely improve on these points in future. In overall, the meeting went very well and smoothly. All speakers spoke very well and delivered a wonderful speech. And the main thing is that we have learned an Arabic word in this English speaking session. I thoroughly enjoyed this meeting and I look forward for your support in future sessions. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abid Khan. Let's give a big round of applause to General Evaluator and his set of assignees for this amazing job done. So we have come to the end of today's educational session, and I would like to thank our dear VP Education, Toastmaster Ravi, for giving me this chance to become Toastmaster for this evening. Thank you all for joining today's meeting. It's time for me to call over our President, Toastmaster Harish Bhargavan. Let's give a big round of applause and help me welcome DTM Harish Bhargavan.
Thank you, Elena. You have conducted it amazingly well, but your job is not at over. You have to declare the results. Please invite the Toastmaster Ravish as well and then conduct that.
Sure. Vote counter. Are you ready with the results?
Yes. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, once again, warm good evening. Today, we have scheduled 5 speakers, but then one dropped out and one disqualified. So we have 3 speakers, and we had experienced some technical difficulty as well in the beginning, but then it got all right, and we got the votes. And the best speaker today is Toastmaster Manoj Kumar. Congratulations, Toastmaster Manoj Kumar. And moving on, unfortunately, we got a strict timer today, and the timing is for all the evaluators, they have been disqualified. But I think we should give some consideration to Toastmaster Ajit, as he has been disqualified only by 6 seconds, so we can consider him as the best evaluator, as being the single evaluator we qualified. So best evaluator is Toastmaster Ajit Kumar, and congratulations to him. And over to you, Toastmaster Harish Bhargavan.
Elena, please.
Okay. Sorry, over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, word counter Toastmaster Ravi. Congratulations to our best speaker and best evaluator. It was an amazing session today, having Arabian Toastmasters Club joint meeting with Periyar Toastmasters Club. Now, officially, let me call back our President, Toastmaster Harish Bhargavan. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome Toastmaster Harish Bhargavan.
Thank you, Elna, for doing this amazing job. This has been an amazing session, and you have been an amazing, outstanding TMOD as usual. Excellent job. Congratulations. Dear all, I think we all had a unique experience when two active clubs come together. We get the best of both, and that's what we have experienced. Now, there is one thing very, very special. Today, through voting, we have determined one best speaker. What is so special about him is he is the member of both the clubs. So both Arabian as well as Periyar, we jointly have a best speaker. And DTM Ajit Kumar, okay, he's more a Periyarian than an Arabian. That's the way we consider him in Periyar. So we are all winners. Now, I think we have conducted it very professionally. That's the reason we have with us 19 more minutes. And since our agenda was packed, we canceled the table topic session. But table topic session is there for a reason in club meetings. That is where we provide opportunities for all the attendees to speak for at least a few moments. So I think we can best utilize this remaining time. What do you think, Toastmaster Ravish? Or do you have some better idea in your mind?
No, I really second your thought. Yes, it's a good time. We can utilize this and keep this straight. I second your thought. We can go ahead.
Thanks. Thanks, Toastmaster Ravish. So it's my privilege to invite our guest today, Mr. Elvin. Mr. Elvin, we would like to listen to you as to what was your experience, plus kindly keep it short for 1 or 2 minutes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It is such an enjoyable evening. Everybody, there's a lot of good speaker, and I do learn a lot of the Dawi thing. As for a Chinese, I'm a Singaporean, so I also have an Indian, Singaporean. So it's good to know more about the Indian custom. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah, thank you for inviting me to this evening event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we are indeed privileged to have you with us. And please keep joining us because we are in need of new members. Because we would like to have diverse perspectives coming into us. Therefrom, we learn a lot as well. We'll keep on inviting you. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. And Toastmaster Arun Vasan has been so silent so long.
Oh, okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Actually, I joined a bit late. Sorry for that. I had another one commitment. I completed and joined. So I'm waiting for the table topics. I'll speak then. Do call me.
There is no table topic session today. We are going to complete. This is the time for you to provide something.
Yeah, okay. Now that you have asked me, I wasn't, to be very frank, happy that you broke a rule. When we make a rule, we need to follow it. Whether it is 1 second or 2 seconds, we have short. At 6 seconds, we go with that, because if you see Toastmaster Anjali, she also was like exceeded by 6 seconds. But we have a rule, and we have a rule particularly, and people should learn to speak within that particular time. And if seasoned Toastmasters, if they can't, then we can't be blaming the new guys. So I firmly believe that it's not fair that we break a rule. We need, if you want quality, if you want a certain amount of to the bar to really be raised, we need to follow certain ground rules, and we shouldn't be breaking for whatever may be the reason. So that's one point I just wanted to add.
Very much appreciate your frank and honest feedback. Really, that enhances professionalism if we strictly maintain that important kind of rules. But this is here we experiment and learn. So at times we have to do some experiment to really understand whether we did something wrong as well. And thank you for pointing it out. We much appreciate that candor and professionalism from your side.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. And Toastmaster Vasanthi.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I was even a bit late. I have just joined in the beginning, and in between I was quit, and again I have joined. Somehow I was able to hear the evaluation session. I really enjoyed. Hope to see you again in the combined meetings again in the future. And over to you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. I think we have covered DTM Biju CR. Yes, he was supposed to be an evaluator. Now, the chance to you.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. President and dear fellow Toastmasters. And it was a wonderful experience as a joint meeting with our mother club, Arabian. Of course, the members train out as per the current situations in Periyar and also Arabian. We are seeing that. I was expecting some around 40 members will be there, but we are somehow needs to half of that. So we can hope for better members participation in future. And it was indeed a very good learning experience from the starting from the speeches and a lot of messages. And that's what we are learning in Toastmasters. When we have with more learning options, we will learn more. And I'm so happy to invite our my colleague and my friend, Mr. Elvin, to our meeting. We used to discuss so many things about Toastmasters during our break times, and I hope that he enjoyed the meeting, and we'll request him to join for future meetings also. Thank you so much, and thank you all. Back to you.
Thank you. So we have covered all. Now over to Toastmaster Ravish. So for your closing address, or if you would like to do something at this time.
Thank you again, DTM Harish Paragan. Really, I second the thoughts of all of you as well as yours that it was really a great learning platform. And having this joint meeting is something different from our regular ones. As we say, though, when we travel, we learn more. I think when we travel into other club meetings, definitely the learning grows in the same way when we travel the distances. And in person note, really, I have learned so much from this meeting, right from the preparation for the joint meeting, as well as during the meeting. So I hope all the Toastmasters have taken the benefit of this joint meeting, and we definitely look forward for many such meetings more to come. So thanks once again for accepting the invitation for the joint meeting, and really the great job done by each and every member and assignees in this. So thank you again, and back to you, DTM Harish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravish. We still have about 12 minutes, and I think maybe one or two of the members who had some chance to share their views, maybe they would like to add something more. So please, if any of you would like to share some views with us, please put a thumbs up sign or raise your hands. Yes, Elna, come on, please.
President, can we have a group picture, please?
Absolutely. Let us all switch on the video. We will take a group picture.
Zoom Master, are you looking?
I have captured a screenshot. Okay. Yeah, I have already captured a screenshot. So Ravi, is there anything being done from your side?
Nothing especially. Now our next meeting will be on October 2. So signees will be declared later.
Right. So I don't find any other hands raised. So I think we can conclude this meeting now. It was a joint meeting. It was a fantastic meeting. And for the record, we are concluding it ahead of time, signifying the professionalism both the clubs were able to demonstrate today. So with that, let us adjourn. Thank you. See you all.